So we're starting the third week of the month of August, and if you look clearly, you can see the market has not really been the best. You can see all this is just ranging stroke sideways price action. So this is the kind of price action that can actually make you blow your account. It will test your patience, and if you're not careful, you will find yourself revenge trading. So anytime we have such kind of price action, I recommend actually reducing your risk, always taking something out of the market. And if the market is not clear, just wait. Patience is still a position. So as usual, we're going to start our analysis with the dollar index, and we're going to look at it from the weekly time frame. So if you look at the weekly time frame, it's still clear. Nothing much actually has happened. You can see the past 2 weeks, really the kind of weekly candles that we've had. So far, again, you can see we had market structure shift at this point. That was a retracement, and then we had a break of structure. So we said as long as the market is still between this range low and this range high, we still consider there's a retracement. Nothing has changed, just as what we were expecting last week. So if you're going to get a deeper retracement, we are likely to have price actually come tag this weekly order block before we continue with the bullish momentum. So like I said, nothing much has happened. Still, what we expected last week is still what we want to see. Either we get a deeper retracement for price to tag the weekly order block, then at that point to get a support for bullish price action. And if you're going to go bearish, finally, you'll actually see that the market is going to violate this. But as of now, because we still consider all this a retracement and we're still anticipating a bullish dollar, I'm watching this as the level that will act as support for price. Now, if you look at this point here, you can see we have this inversion fair value gap. The moment the market reclaims this inversion fair value gap, at that point, we can anticipate that we are likely to see bullish price action. And at that point, we can expect that we are done with the retracement, and we should expect that the market will continue with the bullish dollar. So let's look at USDCHF. So USDCHF and dollar index are positively correlated. So which means if we expect a bullish dollar, we also want to see a bullish USDCHF. Now, so far, again, it's the same thing. You can clearly see we had a break of structure at that point. So far, this is what we have, nothing much. So let's look at the daily time frame. Again, it's the same thing. If you're going to get a deeper retracement for dollar, it will be nice if you get USDCHF actually get to this low. Here we have a monthly fair value gap. This should act as support for bullish USDCHF. So let's look at EURUSD, and we're going to start with the weekly time frame. So you can clearly see EURUSD. So far, we've had all this bullish price action. So price has left behind a weekly bullish fair value gap, and so far price is inside the monthly fair value gap. Now, according to analysis, if dollar is still bullish, I'm anticipating that this monthly fair value gap will act as the resistance point for EURUSD to give us a bearish price action. So at this point, of course, dollar is our leading indicator. If dollar is still going to continue giving us a bearish price action, you can expect that we should see EURUSD giving us bullish price action. So if you look at the daily time frame, you can clearly see so far prices inside the daily fair value gap, which is also where we have the monthly fair value gap. Now, even if, let's say, we are bullish EURUSD and we expect more bullish movement for EURUSD, honestly, at this point, I would consider this at a premium. So even if I'm going to buy EURUSD, or buyers want to come into the market, the best place for them is actually at a discount. And you can clearly see we do have a weekly fair value gap right here. So whatever it is, this weekly fair value gap is really important. Either price is going to use it, act as support to push bullish EURUSD, and in that case, you'll see DXY will be bearish. And then if this gets inverted, then at that point, we expect EURUSD to continue with the bearish momentum. Because if you see clearly, you can see from this high to this low, this is a dealing range, and we had a break of structure. So all this bullish price action that we see so far, as long as it's between this high and this low, it is considered a retracement. So let's look at gold, and if you look at gold again, you can see we had all these bullish price actions. So far, we have left behind a weekly fair value gap. Now, if gold is bullish, this should be used as support to give us a bullish price action. If you're going to see bearish gold, then at that point, you will see high probability you'll want to see price invert this, and then of course, you can expect that gold will continue bearish. So let's look at it on the daily time frame. Of course, on the daily time frame, you can clearly see so far we've had the market structure shift, and gold is really bullish. So far you can see we have made a new higher high, and If you're still bullish and you want to buy gold, of course you wouldn't want to buy at this point, because at this point this is really premium. The best place to buy gold is from a discount. And you can see we do have a weekly fair value gap here, and we also have a daily fair value gap here at the same point as the weekly fair value gap. So if you want to buy gold, the best place you'd want to buy from is actually from a discount PDRE, and we have that. If gold is going to be bearish or continue with the bearish momentum that we have seen for the past few months, then of course this will get inverted. So let's look at BTCUSD, and we're going to start with the weekly time frame. You can see so far nothing much has changed. We have the weekly fair value gap here and monthly fair value gap here. I still want to see price actually get to this level before we continue with the bearish momentum if BTCUSD will continue selling. And you can clearly see BTC USD, we did have a break of structure at this point. So all this bullish price action here that we see is just considered a retracement. So if you look at the daily time frame, you can see it's really clear where we have the monthly fair value gap, we have a weekly fair value gap, we also have a daily fair value gap. So to me, this right here is the best draw of liquidity for price. I need price to get here before I think of selling BTC USD. So that is all I prepared for this weekly outlook video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.